Now, here's the thing. It's very, very hard to tell when somebody is engaged. When you're thinking, when system 2 is actually functioning, there's a few physiological changes. You start to sweat a little bit. Your pupils dilate a little bit. But there's no way we're gonna be able to do this. Are you thinking right now? Let me see your eyes. There's no way that we can do that. So our goal is to try to create visible thinking. You know, I've sat in tons and tons of professional development trainings where that presenter thought I was there with them the entire time, and I'm thinking about everything else but what that person was saying. So it's very, very hard to tell. So what we focus on is trying to create visible thinking. I want to know that you're engaging with the content. Now, here's why that's so critical. Learning is not the consequence of teaching. Think about that. Learning is not the consequence of teaching. Just because somebody's teaching doesn't mean you're actually going to learn the content. Learning is the consequence of thinking. In order to move something from system 2 to system 1, where it becomes subconscious, I have to actively engage with it in system 2 before it slides over to system 1. So without that conscious mental effort, learning is not achieved. But the goal is, how do I get them to think? How do I know when they're thinking? Now, one of our main ways of creating thinking that we utilize quite a bit in classrooms is talking to kids, doing what I'm doing right now. But if I'm being honest with you, I literally right now in this moment, I have no validation that you guys are thinking about what I'm talking about right now. I have no evidence whatsoever. You could be thinking about what you're gonna do for lunch. You could be thinking about what you're gonna do for dinner. Many of you could be thinking about your grandbabies right now. There's a lot of you with grandbabies in here. You could be thinking about anything, and all the while, guess what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm killing it up here. Man, I'm dropping gems right now, killing it.
You're killing it, Miss Terry.
And I believe that we've grown naive to think that learning is synonymous with taking information in. That person's talking, that person's teaching, so they must be learning. Well, that's not the case, especially if those kids aren't thinking. So when we're in this capacity, lecturing, modeling, having our kids write notes, reading to them, there's an assumption that all of our kids are engaged with the material, that they're thinking about the material, actively processing the material, but there's no validation in that capacity. So one of the things that we focus on is trying to create visible thinking. And there's two ways that we focus on it.